Good morning, folks. This is Mr. Dan coming to you from the Landscape Design Classroom, and today we're going to talk about making your small business startup plan. So the main idea here is, how can I know if my idea could become a profitable business? So should you go ahead? You have a business idea. Your research shows a market for your product or service. You have a reasonable estimate of sales in a year. It's time to consider every possible aspect of your operation and possible results, and put your ideas on paper by making a formal startup business plan. So whenever you're looking into what kind of business you want to start, and we'll use a landscaping business as an example, you want to look into the area, how many different landscaping businesses are already in that area. Are you going to be specialized? Are you going to have a home location? There's a lot of questions you want to ask yourself. So doing the research into this is really going to do you justice. Make sure you're writing it down and checking over once, twice, three times over before you really head over heels into this. So I know a lot of landscapers now are starting to be more specialized. Some of the bigger companies can do a lot of different things, but there's some people that just want to build walls. There's some that just want to do turf care. There's some that just want to work on the in the floral end of it. So there's a lot of different areas you can go into, but doing the research to see what you think can be most successful. So why do you need a plan? It's as a selling tool to sell yourself on the idea, to convince a spouse and family members, to convince a banker and investors. And just going back to family members, this is a big decision, especially if you're married, you have kids, any of that good stuff, because it's not only affecting you, it's affecting them as well. So diving into a business, like I said, I cannot stress enough how much you need to research this before you get into it, because it's the difference between making a lot of money and losing a lot of money, or just kind of like riding it out. So there's a lot of people other than yourself you have to convince on this, because not everybody just has $1 million to start a business with. So start with a precise definition of your business. Answer the question, what business am I really in? And that just goes back into what you want to do. Are you going to be a product type of business selling stuff from a home location? Or are you going to be a service where you go out to somebody's house? That answer is going to explain how your business will make money. So sometimes that definition needs to change for a business to succeed. The business plan has 5 sections. So you want to have, moving into the business plan, you want to have an introduction that describes the business and its goals in detail. Who owns the business? How is it organized? Skills and experience of the owners. Advantages over competitors. What makes your business better than theirs? Or what makes it competitive? Second area, marketing, discusses the products and services offered, identifies customers, size and location of markets, how products and services will be priced, advertised, and sold. Section 3, financial management, source and amount of initial equity capital. It is integral that you know where your money source is coming from. Are you going to be able to take a loan? Are you going to be able to pay back that loan? There's a lot of questions you have to ask yourself, and that can only be done through research. So beginning balance sheet, knowing where your money is at all times, keeping a regular budget, projected monthly cash flow and income statements. So you need to be able to project what you think you're going to be able to make, and then compare that at the end of the month to what actually happened. Source of capital, investors and lenders, and then a compensation plan. So depending on the style of business that you're getting into, you may only work for yourself, and that's great, but you want to know how much money you're making. But you might have a bunch of employees, and you want to make sure that you're compensating them fairly, and making sure that everyone involved in your business is getting to where they want to be, and keeping those individuals happy as well. So, and then alternative provisions, which we'll get into later. So, operating section, that's your day-to-day management. The number of employees you want to have, whether it's 1 or 100, you need to have a schedule of how that's going to operate. Buildings and equipment, lease and rental agreements, production and service plans, and then purchasing, pricing, and delivery. So everything that you're doing within your business should be on an operation schedule. whether it's the people coming in to work their regular hours for the day, or on your purchasing, pricing, how are you going to deliver stuff? And that all goes back to what type of business you're going to have. Then our last section here is our concluding statement. It's going to be a summary of goals and objectives and expresses your commitment. And throughout this plan, once you get it together, you'll have a really clear vision of if you want to start a business or not. I mean, the overall goal is making money, but you also want to make sure you're happy in what you're doing with that. So some important questions to ask yourself. And getting into business, you're going to ask yourself a ton of different questions, and you're going to have to research a lot of stuff you never thought you'd have to research before. What are the legal requirements? If you're starting a turf care business, what kind of legal stuff are you going to have to deal with outside of regular business financials, making sure you have workman's comp set up? Are you going to have to worry about if you spray somebody's yard and it dies, or if somebody gets sprayed with something, are you posting stuff correctly? Like there's so much to talk about here, but it's really in the research that you do that's going to answer that question. The amount of money you're going to need to get started, source of financing, creating an accounting plan, marketing the product or service, potential size of market, what's the best location for this, and when's the best time to start your business. So a really great tool that I recommend everybody uses and are available through community colleges, even some regular colleges at no cost at all, would be Help from the Small Business Administration. Business Information Center with free reference library and service corps of retired executives. There's about 13,000 volunteers, expert advice in many areas, and volunteers share management and technical expertise. So people want you to be successful because America's backbone is in small business ownership. So having a business is amazing and can do a lot of amazing things to you, but we want to make sure that you're starting the business that you want to start and you're going to be successful at it. So make sure you review back through this, and in class here, we are going to be making our own business plans to see what would be most profitable for this area. But that is the end of my presentation. If you have any questions at all, please give me a call down here in the Landscape Design classroom or contact me on Canvas, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you about any of this stuff or any of my other previous lectures. But thank you for listening, and have a great day, folks.